Farcaster. It is November 3rd. I had to look. Friday, November 3rd in Farcaster Fall. We are now in day 3 of Farcaster Fall, I believe. I see you're rocking the day 2 amazingness that I love. There's so many good, really great mints that are happening right now. So let's start there. Um, so Cameron's day 2 of Farcaster Fall meant this dynamic co-creation from Chris co-created and helped shape it into an even more beautiful NFT. So to contribute to this, you go to the co-created app, and I believe you can use warps for that. So there you go. So that to actually use the app as well. So there's a way to use your warps. It's very exciting. What are you gonna
Yeah, and
ask?
just to kind of reiterate the co-created concept, I
Yeah,
have what you see is what kind of showed up as day 2 artwork, which is the arch. This is not actually the artwork that you're getting. It is
correct.
a right. So Chris co-created leans into the co-creation and genius and kind of does community art. So and he built an app on top of Farcaster. So you can go to the app, you can use warps, you add your art, then he pulls it all together, and the final piece is a community piece. So
Exactly.
if you're not
And if you
following Chris
haven't seen
co-created,
some
do
of
that.
his other works are just really, really cool. He's done them with all the different L2s. He's done one for Farcaster with like everybody's name, everyone's IDs that were on there at the time. Like it's just really a very cool dynamic piece of art. The spire was amazing. The senior spire that he did, where you have everybody's contributions coming in, and I'm assuming it's going to be something similar to that. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see the
Well, I've
final
had
version. I got to go
yeah,
contribute. I haven't
Chris and I
contributed
have
yet.
had conversations of like, what is art? Like when you look at, is it the visual piece? Is it this? And he's really been leaning into like the we are the art
Yep.
and some nice philosophical conversations about art. So definitely
You
support
know
that.
those philosophical foxes. They
Oh yeah.
tend to jump right into that philosophy side. They're very
And I just
thoughtful.
have to say for others, and I don't know, I'm having trouble minting. So for all the
Ooh.
people who are not seeing me mint your Farcaster Fall, it's not because I don't want to, but um, I am traveling this week. I keep going to Mint and it keeps not working. And I saw Cameron cast this morning that it sounds like
Yep.
I'm not the only one.
So yeah, I'm gonna actually was just gonna go to that. Cameron posted today, Jacob, weird request, but 3 people in the past few days have said I wanted to mint the Farcaster Fall NFT, but I was on mobile and it fails. And then I forgot to mint when I got to my computer. Can you make a remind me to mint button somewhere? And I thought that was a cool idea. I don't know why there's been some minting issues. I think some of it is just, mobile minting in general sometimes can be cranky. I always use MetaMask and I'll go in and use the browser inside of MetaMask, and that's the only way it works. Anytime I do it otherwise, it really doesn't work too well. I know Dawn Wallet is a really good one for mobile minting, but I'm just a little bit set in my MetaMask ways. So, but I thought that was a really good idea. The remind me to mint would not be a bad idea at all, because I've had times like that too, where I'm like, oh, I want to mint that, and then I just forget. So, because I
So,
just can't at the
someone
moment.
suggested shopping cart feature. As
Ooh,
corny as it sounds, I'm a fan of the shopping cart, like or the flag for later. I don't know,
yeah, that's a really good idea. Or save to list,
some
something like that.
wish
Yeah,
list.
that's wish list. On anything like that. That's actually a great idea. And Chris just dropped the co-created.xyz/Chris in the or app.co-created.xyz in the chat. So check that out if you want to go be added to this amazing Farcaster Fall piece. So all these fun things happening. Jack has one as well. He has a mint that's out. Jack from Icebreaker. His contribution to Farcaster Fall wanted to capture that cold, warm feeling of being outside in the sun on the perfect fall day, and also the dreamy nostalgia the season brings. And I thought it's actually really a beautiful piece, just very simple, like video of loop of this leaf just kind of moving in the breeze. So really, really pretty. Um, Anything else you've seen from Farcaster Fall that I might have missed? I think everything
No,
so
I did love
far.
I just saw Jack's piece this morning, I loved it. So simple and sharp and
And just beautiful. Yeah,
beautiful.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of other fun things happening. Have you seen Prince.cool yet from Alex Grover? He just launched a private beta, fun new way to create and trade NFTs on your phone. And he was giving away $5 in base ETH. I don't know if this is already over to the first 20 people who sign up, and then direct cast him your Prince.cool address. And it's kind of interesting. I jumped on last night. It's very, so it gives you a friend tech vibe, but only from the tech side of it. I mean, so meaning that it's very similar in that way where it's got the built-in wallet, it's using Privy, um, and you're essentially like there's an automated mechanism for the pricing of your prints. So you can upload a photo, um, and it can be bought and sold by other people on there. So I played around with it a little bit. I bought a few things and also put one up there just for fun. Of course, it's a based mango. It's a little nounish flamingo. So it's to me really, I'm interested to see it play out and how it can, how a friend tech but visual would work. So yeah. So I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that yet.
I completely missed it. And I
I,
and I
I
don't
not
know
a,
how
not a,
because it's
I
been
understand.
18 hours and 18 hours in a private beta, so I apologize for missing it.
It's been available for
This
a
is
whole
so
18
embarrassing.
hours.
This
How
is so
dare you?
embarrassing.
How dare you not already be on the you're so
You should
late.
fire
You're
me from
so
this
late. I
news
can't
show.
believe you missed fire you from the news show you don't get paid for. Um this is
I have
things you
no
can't be
right.
fired from. A
I
new
have
show
no
that
right
you
doing a Farcaster news show if I don't know every launch that happens, every private beta app that launches.
there's
I'm
absolutely no way
sorry.
we can follow everything. Absolutely no way. But this one's really fun, and I definitely would recommend reaching out to Alex if you do log in and see because he was still giving away like and $5 of base ETH goes a long way. So it does like allow you to play around and buy a few things and get to know the app a little bit and see if you like it. But yeah, just another fun launch on Farcaster that you missed. How dare you? It's almost
Fillers.
as if you were out and about in LA. And actually, that's my next cast is that little Farcaster meetup that happened yesterday. And with Ted and you and a few other folks. And I did see that in 30 seconds, oops, Adrian, I'm sorry, who spilled? Was it Ted or you?
It was Ted. In her defense, the table was defective,
Okay.
so she put it was just, but it
It just
was
wasn't
yeah.
her fault. It wasn't her fault. So how was the meetup? And by the way, this is I got the new mug
Yeah.
today. How was the meetup?
Meetup was incredible. We had maybe 10 people or so show up. A bunch of people from out of town, some LA locals. Um, I got to meet Dillstack. Dylan was there,
Yay.
and David T. Fung, who
Oh, fun.
is Waj, do you know,
Watch.
and
Yep.
who's in town. Um, some new people, and yeah, it was incredible.
It's
As
always
it's just
amazing. Like those in-person meetups, there's nothing like them. There's nothing like them. It just like it solidifies everything that you already think usually about the folks that you're meeting. It just kind of,
there were yeah, and there were some old school forecasters, and then there was someone who joined a week ago, like
oh, that's so
like
fun.
1 week ago, and pops into the meetup, and
That's
as if he had
awesome.
been there forever. People were asking me about seniors, and it was like at towards the end, it was like, hey, I'm like I missed the joke. What is it? What is your seniors? And I'm like, no, 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 not so I gave my quick lightning talk on all things seniors. So I might have to keep repeating and educating people about
I think you
seniors.
do.
And I started thinking about, the hype cycle of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Of I started thinking, has anyone done a hype cycle on social media of like what are
Hmm.
the different phases of social media? And can is Genius at some point when you're at scale, is it no longer a scene? Twitter's not a scene anymore. There might be pockets of scenes and maybe
Pockets of scenes.
channels. Um,
Because Twitter
but
doesn't really have channels, but you have ways of creating things like crypto Twitter, right?
mhm,
Where you can curate your feed so that you're only seeing one particular thing. And that's to me like what we did, what Farcaster did was basically take crypto Twitter and move it over here. And it just was like, so it kind of was, it has, but it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. Farcaster is a totally different vibe, builder vibe
yeah,
into me. It's very different. Because it's so for Senius for you, like to me, from what I understand, and this has been a lot of my understanding of it, because I had never heard of the concept until the lightning talk. So my understanding is really also that you're contributing to something bigger. It's growing itself, like, but also you might be inspired from something within there, and then you go and build something else that maybe that inspires somebody else. And that to me is what I don't see in crypto Twitter or Twitter in general, but I do see in Farcaster a lot.
yeah.
Uh,
And one of the yeah, and so in the kind of the write up of the Scenius of kind of Brian Eno, who developed it, one of his features of a Scenius is rapid exchange of tools and techniques. So
hmm.
when something new comes out in the Scenius, everybody adopts it quickly and expands on it. So it is
Except
a
for Adrian, who's taken a whole like 18 hours to even find out about Prince.cool. I mean,
you know, by the end of the day, I'll build on top of it. I'll have my Prince.cool site up. Keep
but
going.
so yeah, so that's, and I do see that happen a lot, right? Where people launch something new and there's a quick adoption, and sometimes a
Adoption.
quick adoption and then build on that. And even with memes within Farcaster,
Oh,
speaking of, like the
speaking
memes
of
get built
mole.
on top of, speaking of mole, the
And
memes
then
get,
one of the other characteristics of a senius that's one of my favorite is so one is friendly competition.
mm,
So it's not everyone's on the
ooh,
same team. It's we're building different apps. I want GM Farcaster to be the best. We want this to
thing.
be the
Yeah.
best news show, but wouldn't it be great if there were other ones?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and kind of that.
Well, it
And then
also
the
gives
other
you
one,
validity, right? When there's somebody else doing something in the same realm and
mhm.
competing with you, it gives you a little bit more validity of what you're doing as well. Like, oh, okay, I am maybe onto something here. So that's, yeah, definitely.
And then the last characteristic that I love is the seniors creates this you it's safe space where we you can take risks, and if you go too far
Yep.
the seniors will back you up. And the greatest example of this is I found like when I'm defending Brian for not auditing contracts because he's going to go out and say something crazy and everyone's going to attack him, but being part of the seniors, and I'm like, okay, well, I understand what he's saying. It's like, no, we want people to take risks. You want it to be a place where someone can say something and kind of push the boundaries, and you're kind of buoyed and kind of supported by the seniors. So
Also, I think for something like that's a great example of, well, now you have to also then support your argument as to why it should be. So it makes you a little smarter in that part of it, right? Where you have to, if you feel strongly in another direction, then you have to show why, prove why, give some evidence, that kind of stuff. And I think that's helpful for solidifying like your own values and beliefs and what have you. So, yeah, very fun. $10 a base ETH is the new $5 a base ETH. That's funny. Um, it really is like, really is. Um, that is funny. So along those lines of people experimenting and getting pushed back a little bit, Will Robinson. Will Robinson, what are you doing? Um, so he recently, I'm going to just read this. I have recently created a script to follow everyone with over 100 followers. If you don't follow me back in 5 days, don't worry, I will unfollow you. I'm coming for the 10 to 100 followers people next week. Please let me know if this is a terrible idea. And then this went on, and this has been an ongoing experiment for a few days. And essentially, it's an experiment in growth hacking and growing the idea of growing quickly your followers, et cetera, by using various bots. And this has gotten a lot of uh, engagement. a lot of activity around it. What are your thoughts on that? 'Cause I saw you comment like pretty early on. So what were your thoughts on this experiment by Will?
I almost didn't even want to talk about it today
I know I
because
went
it's
back and
like,
forth on this.
do I want to give oxygen to things that I don't want to talk about? But here we are. And, and one of the things I don't like about Twitter is like, it's like the rage baits and the toxic like things tend, and it's not really where I want to put my energy. What I thought about Will Robinson in the beginning was, you want to do an experiment and you're being transparent about it, go for it. And this is one of the things I loved about Farcaster early on is like, oh, you have an open data, you have open data, you've got APIs, you can experiment and you should. That being said, there's consequences.
Yeah.
So if there's going to be a backlash and people don't want to follow, like, good, that's
Yeah.
okay. It's like, be adults, be respectful. I appreciate that he's being transparent.
Yeah,
um
definitely, because we know that it's probably happening in other ways too, with people who are being transparent or doing something similar, maybe not exactly the same. And I did appreciate, yeah, there was some funny things in here, like about he was talking about maybe the folks that don't like him should get together and coordinate better, something like that. It was really funny. Here's what it was. The people being mean to me on Workcast are really having a hard time coordinating and communicating with each other. Maybe they need a channel to coordinate. I think there's always a lot of pushback on, anything that changes your environment. You know what I mean? So, and I think in general there was a lot of concern about permissionlessness changing the environment, and this is sort of part of that moment. And it's interesting. He has 6 storage units, which I thought that was interesting. He bought like extra storage units to be able to do this experiment. So,
well, everybody, I encourage, experiment away. There's consequences to your actions. I'm kind of over it now. I still support. I do what you want, but I don't need my whole feed of Will Robinson.
it's a lot of will. It's a lot of will at the
I'm trying to
moment.
celebrate fall.
We're
I
we're
want
back
my
to we're
pumpkin
going
spice
back to
latte.
Farcaster Fall. We're Farcaster Fall and our spice lattes. Um, yeah. So moving on from there, I do want to mention that Purple has their retroactive funding round 4 up now. I think there's 9 or 10 days left to submit. I think this was yesterday. There was 10 days. So I think there's 9 days left to submit. You can go to Prop House and find the Purple Prop House and submit your prop. And GM Farcaster is actually going to submit into this round. We have our prop that we're working on and going to submit it sometime in the next couple days. But I'm excited to see the other props as well, because we won't be voting on ourselves. So got to look at some of the other ones and see who we can vote for. So that's exciting. And it's 5 awards of 1 ETH each. So if you've been working on something for Farcaster, this is your moment to try and get some funding for that activity and that work and that amazingness. So get in there. Um,
When in doubt, submit.
When in doubt, submit. One last thing I wanted to mention, and we both said we don't fully understand what's going on here, but you are not Farcaster 1337. Someone created this game. It's kind of fun. You can play it so that you're trying to stop on the number 1337. And if you do, you win something. I don't think anyone has hit it yet. I don't think. I've tried a couple times. I minted my you are not Farcaster 1337. So I did mint that, but think that it's still going. So something fun to try if you're so inclined. Did you try that yet? The 1337 thing? No, didn't get to that yet? Wow, you are slacking this week. Usually you're on all these things. Just kidding. I still don't fully
I'm,
understand it, but I'm
I'm busy.
still
I'm
here for
traveling this
all the
week. I got it
experiments.
done.
I'm here for all the experiments. And lastly, it would not be a day without a mole meme this week. So I did really love this one because it's kind of taken off its own light. It's the pawn brokers kind of meme where they're yelling at each other, but it's all about the mole. In an alternate universe where cool heads didn't prevail. But what's funny about that to me is that you're talking about the mole, except they're not talking about the mole. And the mole is not pictured in the meme. And I think that is where we've gone over. It's gone into its own little realm, and
Entered
it's
Kiwi
it's. I was
territory.
just say that it is now now in the world of kiwi. It has moved. We now have kiwi and mole instead at Farcon next year. Instead of little kiwis as the centerpieces on the table, they'll be mole. And there we are. And that is 21 minutes of Farcaster news for you. Just want to check our chats and see what I missed. Old 90s Internet Talk for Elite, aka Hacker 1337. Oh, I wanted to say hello to Monkey D Links, who is now a member of BuilderDAO. So just picked up a token yesterday. So welcome. And to let everyone, yes, apply. This is my first live. Oh, Ted's here. Ted made it. Um, the anti-danger Will Robinson channel. I think that would be kind of funny, actually. I think we
It
need
looks like
that.
the stream. Is the stream laggy for other people
Oh,
or
it might be laggy. I don't know.
just
We might be a little laggy. It's
no?
always a little laggy behind. It could be super laggy, but it's possible. Sometimes it's been laggy. So hopefully you enjoyed our stream today. Ted, we did talk about you. I don't know if you caught that part, but I did mention your meetup, and I hope you guys had fun. I'm sad that I have yet to meet most of you, but hopefully in Miami at Art Basel, there'll be some folks. So, and with that, that's it. Happy Friday.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday, everybody. And we will see you Monday. Regular time, I believe, we'll be back at. And we'll be back in the
Regular
mornings.
time,
Back in
but
our,
it's been fun to be on the West Coast
it
and
has been
do
fun.
this at West Coast time.
It's been fun that I'm really excited that you got to meet up with so many people and got to go to the Farcaster HQ and all those fun things. So that's really cool. And we will see you all on Monday. GM Farcaster. Bye bye.